All right, let's go. Season 40, War Number 1. I'm SSX-1 JTQ9, and we are coming at you live from my basement. Anyway, feeling good to be back making the videos. I decided to skip ahead and not fall too far behind on this season's wars, as I still haven't released kind of the last 4 or 5 from last season, but I'll try to maybe release those kind of intermittently. But like I said, I didn't want to get too far behind because we've got a big one here to start the season against GOM, GOMV. And we got some new matchups that we haven't. I haven't fought Spot yet in Alliance Wars. So here I've got Blade with the partial Trinity. Well, it's not really a Trinity if there's only 2, but let's say I got the Spark to make the danger sense a little bit more potent. I believe it's about 45%. And Blade against Spot, being a dimensional being, will be in danger sense the entire time. So my plan here was essentially to just spam the SP1s where I could. Obviously parry when he's not immune, and then just make sure I don't get hit by the special ones. Or sorry, by the special ones. Yeah, by his specials, or when he goes basically unbeatable. So with that one there, first fight into the season, we are off to a good start. Unfortunately, a little foreshadowing here. This does not end well for me in this war. But anyway, I digress. So here we are. We're moving on to Chavez, fight number 2. Again, being a dimensional being, this one here, same type of idea. We are looking to essentially not push her to an SP2 because that's where a lot of the trouble pops in. I love the fact that she just throws kind of random heavies, just even though I wasn't baiting it or holding block or anything. So I have to be very, very careful, tread lightly, make sure the Mystic Dispersion doesn't push her past 2 bars of power. So that's also why I'm not pushing her up a little bit closer until she pushes, or at least until she throws the SP1, since the SP1 is pretty easy to dex out of the way of. So he's doing some decent damage. I saw some 9,000 yellow numbers there. Again, spamming the SP1, getting the bleed to help push her down just a little bit more. Continue to avoid getting her too close to the SP2. And just like that, being the, I believe it was the heavy interrupt. No, not the heavy interrupt. The, oh, I want to say the intercept node, but it wasn't the intercept node. So anyways, doing more damage when she basically was knocked down. My third and final fight, this one here, this one got a little bit tricky. I maybe should have asked a couple more questions going in terms of strategy, as we already had kind of someone else die to this fight prior to me taking it. I did watch the video and thought, okay, it's not that bad. But the one thing I didn't realize is that this guy was also probably running MD5, which was the difference from the other video. Because if you'll notice, not yet. Like, so far the fight's going okay. It's under somewhat control. I'm dexing out of the way. I'm watching everything. But every time I'm hitting him, he's gaining a ridiculous amount of power. This is with read pre-frights on top of it. So I did throw in an invul boost just to be safe. And then at one point coming up, just before he throws an SP3, I believe he clips me. Anyway, we'll watch a little bit further here. But so as you can see, he's just gaining power like crazy. I'm just trying to bait out, and that's where it is. So that's where, for some reason, my dex didn't kick in, or I just missed it, or I don't know what happened. So now I'm sitting vulnerable as he's gaining tons of power and gets pushed to an SP3. And that's more or less just the start of it right now. So so push to 1 SP3. He still has the aura up, so I'm trying not to die. I'm trying to get some damage in, but I'm getting cornered back. And just like that, within 2-3 hits, he's already back at another SP3. And that one, unfortunately, did me in. So, not happy being the first war of the season and being the first death of my battle group for the season. So, especially when I got limited fights and limited roles with this, where I'm brought in specifically for that fight with Blade, and should have been okay. So second time, and I was going to cut this part out, but then just to show for reference for future, what I was doing is then I put on all the skill boosts, the 200. I changed from a 25% boost to a 33. Still had the invul boost on. I actually turned off dex as well on this one, and that's where I think the strategy behind that moving forward will be. I just have to also remember that when I'm doing that, that if I do get too close to him and he decides to throw an SP1, that I can't dex out of the way, as you'll see. But already, just with that, he's not gaining the same amount of power. There is still another Petrify. I also, that's when I made a mistake and realized I didn't have dex on, so I had to be more careful. But I also had 3 in Petrify. I also had 2 in Pacify, just in case, instead of MD. So I'm thinking that that also helped make a difference as well, as he's not gaining nearly as much power as he was. So for moving forward, I should be okay with this fight. Especially, I will try not to take, obviously, shots to the head to lose my Invul boost. But just like that, he went down a lot smoother, a lot easier, and now I'm pretty sure I have the winning formula for the next time. So unfortunately, I died. And fortunately, my battle group only died once, so it was me. So we did post a 164, so we still had a very good showing. And we ended up taking this with only 4 deaths this war. So I'm happy we won. If I were to ever die in a war, obviously it's going to be one where we're kind of already winning. And even though I hate dying, and you all know that, but I think it was a good learning lesson, and looking forward to the rest of the season. If I end up taking that fight more and more, I have a much better strategy now moving forward with it and should be good with it. So looking forward to it. Thank you all for stopping by, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care.